What's up, guys? It's your host, Spartanic Arts DxD, back with another high school DxD related video. And today we have What If Issei Was Betrayed, Part 2. If at all possible, let's try to hit 400 to 500 likes. That'd be absolutely awesome. And once again, if you guys want to know exactly when I upload or my upload schedule, click the little blue button right next to the subscribe button, or the first link in the description, or the first link in the comment section, or the first link in the premiere right now. And if you guys are in the premiere right now, go ahead and hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. Seriously, I would absolutely love for that to happen. Yeah, so once again, thank you. And I'm not going to waste anybody's time, and I'm just going to go ahead and thank my balance breakers and my Juggernaut Drive members. My Juggernaut Drive members being Ant Lewis, Anthony Lewis, Cool Ninja 12, Dark Phoenix, and Lachlan Yates. And my balance breakers, Ziki 2000, Nugabuna Uba, Serafal Leviathan. I know I pronounced your name wrong, probably Nugabuna Uga, but like I really don't know how to say. Night Ammo, Scott Clowery, Rob the King, and Native Darkwolf. Thank you so much for becoming a balance breaker / Juggernaut Drive member. I cannot thank you guys enough. Shout out to you boys. And obviously over there on Patreon, I just released a What If Issei Was Alone unreleased episode, part 1. Where it's exclusively on Patreon. So if anybody wants to join up on there, that'd be absolutely cool. So shout out to my Patreon members: Smells Noise, Locking Yates, God Killer, Elton, Mark Bacon, J Truly 2, and Logan Colhart. Thank you so much for becoming a Patreon member. I would talk a lot more, but I am very tired from work, and then I had to come back and record this, and I think this is a pretty long one, so do with that as you will. Thank you so much for the support, ladies and gentlemen, and without further intrusion, What If Issei Was Betrayed? Part 2. Chapter 3. Present day. Issei looked out the window and just thought how it had been a year and a half since that day, the day he left Ko. Those days of saying goodbye to some friends, kissing those that appreciated him and loved him. It did make him wonder if they were alright or if they moved on. He did hope they were happy, however. He still kept them in his heart as he strived to get his life back, the one the supernatural took away from him. He twirled the necklace that never took off, and as he remembered those days again, he couldn't help but laugh at himself for underestimating his friend's intelligence. Flashback. Issei woke up and heard some noise and figured it was his parents, and then he remembered that his parents never saw us look. Well, they're going to be in for a surprise, Issei says, as he got out of bed, headed to the bathroom, and got ready. He figured that his parents wanted to leave as soon as possible. Heading out of the bathroom, Issei changed his shirt as he still had pants that were given to him from the new body that was built, and left his room to go downstairs. Good morning, Tao-san, Ka-san, as he walked into the kitchen / living room. Good morning, Issei, Goro said. His view was blocked by the newspaper that he was reading. Good morning, Issei? Miki, turning to look at him as she made breakfast, she was a bit surprised by his new look. Surprise? Issei said, as his mother's reaction caused his father to put his paper down and look at his son. What happened to you? Guru said. Well, the dragon gods made me a new body. It helped me get the pawn pieces out of my body, so when we leave, I can leave them and they won't be able to track me, Issei says. Oh, that's a good idea, Miki replies, and I was thinking that we can change our surname back to my maiden name. We can use Hyodo as our middle names, turning to her husband, the way we could still have the name honoring your parents, Miki said. That's a good idea, Goro replied. That doesn't sound too bad, Issei replied, as he sat down at the table as his mother served breakfast. After this, we'll go back to our regular lives just like it was a year ago, Miki said. She had a smile. You're really going to miss this place, huh, Ka-san? Well, yes, Miki said. Not this place and how it is now, but before. I mean, you grew up here. You took your first steps here in this home. There are a lot of memories, but I guess they were taken away when they changed the place. I was fine with it, but you were with the girls at the time. Given the circumstances, this place is kind of making me uncomfortable. It's more like their place than ours now, Miki says. Indeed. All of those trips have made me miss work life. Guess I'll take the guy up on that offer of his, Goro replied. What was that offer, Tao-san? A job offer for a tech company that's headquartered in Tokyo. When was this? Miki said. Oh, that was when we were on a cruise. A man named Alexander. I think his last name also started with an A. It didn't seem Japanese, though, but he liked my technology background and talked to his connections with Tiogo. I'll check with him. When we get a hotel there, it will help us save up for money that was given to you, Issei. Huh? That would help us. I could get a part-time job as well. Issei said, no. Focus on your studies. Considering your grades, you are above average, so you have improved, Goro replied. Yeah, all those lessons with Ross Weiss-senpai have paid off, now having a sad smile of his own. Remember, partner, she stood up for you. She's on your side, Trigg says. Yeah, I'll have to leave her a note telling her thanks, Issei says. Remember, you still have people on your side, but I understand the need to get away and heal. Recollect yourself, but don't forget to train. There may be renegade demons out there. You've been doing the Grimory's job here. At least the Sea Tree is responsible. Otherwise, you would have been overworked. At least some of the girls cared about your condition. I was surprised by the nun's actions the most, Drake said. You and me both, Issei replied. Then he stopped and thought about what Drake said. I'm guessing she only healed me for Grimory to use me as like some tool. Now that you mention it, I guess that's a possibility. Grimory has her wrapped around that finger of hers. No wonder it calls Grimory Oni-sama, Drake says, mocking Asia's voice. It made Issei chuckle a little, which got his parents' attention. Sorry. Something funny, Issei? Goro said. Oh no, I was talking with Drake. He said a joke to cheer me up, given the situation, Issei said. Well, we still got time before the girls get back, as she gathered dishes, and suddenly the doorbell rang. Were either of you expecting anyone? No. Issei did, seeing his son's defensive stance. Demons, Issei said. As he edged his sword towards the door, he did not feel malicious intent. The errand signatures were familiar, but they were not the Grimory from he could tell. With the boosted gear activated, he grabbed the door handle and opened the door and struck. Whoa, Hyodo! Take it easy, it's just us. Jumping back as the claws from the boosted gear nearly struck him in the face. Wait, you are Hyodo, right? Looking at the brunette in front of him. Saji? Couch? Seek-chan? What are you guys doing here? Now identifying the people in front of him. It was the entire Sea Tree Parage, along with Siki Vera and her queen, Alvian and Kiba. We came to help you pack, Sona said. Figured that you wanted to get out of here as soon as possible, and do not worry. They should not be back for about 2 weeks, thanks to our associate here, gesturing to Kiba, who had a sad look on his face. Kiba, turning astern as he towards the knight of the Grimory clan. I'm so sorry, Issei-kun. I didn't know. Bowing his head in sadness, I was informed about it this morning. Kiba said, don't! Cutting off Kiba, pointing at his boosted gear, at the blonde knight. Don't say her name. Please, Issei said. What did you do to the boosted gear? Saji replied. That caused Issei to look at his sacred gear. The claws were silver, almost looking white. It looked like it was glowing in the sunlight on the red off the armor. That was black intricate lines. Think of the design on Gordon's arm. And the gem looked a little darker. Whoa, I never noticed, Issei said as he inspected his gear. Looks like the gear is assimilated to your new body, Drake says. Guess so, Issei replied. Back to Saji. Sorry, Sanji, but I didn't do anything. Your aura is fully dragon. I do not detect any demonic traces, Olivian said. I noticed that as well. Did you remove the pieces? Sigurvero said. In a way, but let me you guys in. Moving aside, letting the guests enter the house, Issei did. Oh, you must be friends of Issei, Miki said. The good ones, I suppose. I take it that you already know what happened, Sona replied. Yes, Drake informed us. Issei seemed off to say anything, Miki said. I humbly apologize for what happened to your son, Saji said. I figured that he wanted to leave, so I sent his transcripts. Oh, so you must be Sona. It's nice to meet you, girl. And then he turned towards Siki Vera. Hey, honey, she looks like the female version of Alexander. Alexander? You've met my father? Siki Vera says. Father? Who are you again? He was curious about her last name. I am Siki Vera Agaris, the next head of the Agaris family, Reign Archduke, formally introducing herself. Agaris? That's the last name. Oh, great. I made a deal with the devil, Garo says. So you're the one that my father mentioned? When my parents came back to their cruise, that means you're heading to the Tokyo, I presume, huh? Sekivera says. Not anymore, since you guys know, Issei replied, grumbling since they had to change locations again. That's actually smart, Tokyo being a highly populated area. It would make it tough for the factions to look for you, and with the pieces removed, you're no longer part of the Grimory clan, and you could not be deemed a stray either. You're pretty much free. I assume you'll be changing your last name as well, Sona says. That is correct. You're not going to rat us out? Issei says. I wouldn't have sent your transcripts if I was going to tell the factions of your plans. You did enough for us, Hyodo. You deserve your freedom, Sona says. It makes this easier. If we're going to Tokyo, I have these deeds to give you. There are a couple of houses that we have had state-of-the-art technology, a token of our friendship. Hyodo-kun. As a bonus, it's secured with magical seals, so you can be alert if someone in the supernatural is near, Sekibura says. Well, we are going to get a hotel and find a place for ourselves for the time being. But does this help? But this does help save some money, but it all depends on you. Do you trust him, Issei? Mickey says he looked towards his mother. She did have a pleading glit in her eyes, and he wanted what was best for his parents as well. Looking back at the people that came to visit him, he didn't want to trust them. But his family came first, and he was checking for any tells that they may deceive him, and he couldn't find any. So he let aside and responded, they can be trusted. And Tao-san, you should take the offer as well, Issei says. You sure, son? Because I can look for another one if no. But he was cut off. No. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime for you. So take the offer, Issei says. Alright, Sekibere, was it? Please tell your father that I accept his offer, if it's still available, Goro says. He's been waiting to hear from you to inform you. With these houses in your name, there will be no surveillance from my clan to invade your home privacy. Sekibere, well, that's good. Well, we're going to pack, Mickey says. We figured. That's why I brought my Parage to help you. But do not worry, as we were informed that the girls will be staying in the underworld for a while. About 2 weeks, Sona says. Oh, that's wonderful. So we don't have to rush. We want to be out of this place by the end of the week, Mickey says. Yeah, we can ease into the new house as well and look into our schools, Goro says. With your grades, you should be able to get into one, Hyodo-san. Now, Mrs. Hyodo, my Parage is at your disposal to help you get your things, Sona said. When all the things are said and done, I can transport them to your new home, Sekibara says. Is it possible to get a tour of the house and get a little familiar with it? When we get through, the packing shouldn't be too tough for us, since most of the furniture came when the Gremory remodeled the house, Goro says. Of course, if you like, I can escort you both today, Sekibara says. That would be fine. Since the girls won't be back, is it okay if you guys come back another time, since we don't have to rush to start packing, turning to Sona? I don't see a problem with that, Sona replies. Thank you. Oh, and keep Issei company, please, looking at her son, seeing him talk with Kiba and Sanji. It's no problem. We figured he needed some support. That's why we came out to help, Sona says. Thank you, Miki replied. Then she called out to her son. Issei, we're going to look at the new house, okay? Issei stopped his conversation, giving a wary glance at Sekibara and Alvian before giving a nod and waving goodbye. Sekibara prepared a transport magic circle, and she, the Hyodo, and Alvian left the place. So how have you been holding up? Kiba said, still saddened by what happened to his best friend. Fine, Kiba, don't let this cloud you. You're in a relationship now. You should not let this become between you. Just because you are a part of the Gremlin clan, you are a part of the Sea Tree. Tsubaki-san turning towards the long-haired woman, who was Sona's queen. I don't know how you feel about the Gremory, Sona-san, but it's your call. I also forgot. But since I'll be here for a week, you think you can let me know if there's renegades around here? Drake said I would need to test my body's capabilities, and I would like to do that before I head out. There's been quite the number of renegades popping up around, and does give me the cover to make them think that I am still with them, and help take some stress off you, since it's their territory as well. I can do that. Also, I thought I should inform you, but Alvian has been watching you and said that you would not help the Alliance, but you seemed deep in thought, Sona says. Tell them, partner. They already know where you're going. Tell them what the beast told us, Drake says. The beast, Sona replied. It was during the Trihexa battle. He wanted to know why I was protecting beings that consider themselves superior to humans. I told him that it was because of my friends, family, and girls, or ex-girls that I should say. After that, he told me not to trust anyone because the greatest pain comes from what I tried to protect the most, and he was right. The Sea Tree Parage was saddened by what he said, so Sona had to ask. Then Hyodo-san, do you trust us? Sona replied, honestly, I wasn't going to tell anyone that I was leaving, so you guys being here did make me suspicious of you, but you sent me my transcripts, which I thank you because I didn't think you would do that, so I guess I can trust you for now. As for helping the factions, I don't really know. Kind of neutral on some of them, don't think I'll ever help the fallen angels, and maybe not the demons, Issei said. Why don't you help the fallen angels? Rikuro said. Because I was leaving. I heard that bastard talking how I was losing. That people that I love because of my perverted attitude, which is quite hypocritical considering the crow brags about harems that he had and only instigated my behavior. He was a decent teacher, but to an extent. He really, the ones who were better than him are Tani Noji-san and Ross Weiss-senpai, but the last night proved why I shouldn't trust the fallen angel. At least one was truthful to me, Issei said. And who was that, Hyodo-san says. Before I say anything, call me Issei or Is. We've known each other for a long time, so you can call me by a given name, okay, Rhea-san? Smiling towards the bishop, which caused her to blush a bit, turn away, feeling flustered by his gaze. And the fallen angel that I could trust is Rainier, my first girlfriend. But she's dead, Issei-kun, Kiba replied. And she was right, Kiba, taking a sigh. Leaning back into the chair. When she killed me, she told me no one would love a pervert like me, and when she was begging for her life, she told me how the Gremory would do the same. I didn't want to believe her, but she was right. You may have not known this, but when you guys berated me in the club room, she spoke to me and mocked me as she was a part of my trauma. I thought I vanquished her when I was told that I would never be hurt like that again. But last night, she came back. She didn't mock me as before, but she told me how I proved her wrong, while the Gremory proved her right. I didn't know what she meant, until she told me how the woman that loved me, and she was rooting for me to prove them wrong. Well, she is not wrong. Olivia noted how dragons have acute hearing. So I know you probably heard Rosfaisa and Irina-san defending you, Sona says. You can add Ravel-chan to that list. She sent me my money for the Opie Dragon, and she said she would shut down production. She also told me how the girls would cheat on me, but she wasn't aware that I heard what they said, so I already knew, Issei said. Considering that you're no longer part of the Gremory clan, you cannot profit from your image either. Since she is your manager, she can sue them, Sona says. I saw her walk to her family. She looked sad. Guess it was about that, Sanji replied. If that's the case, if you can trust Ravel, Issei, the Phoenix clan can take advantage. Sona says, that's fine. Maybe it'll make them reconsider treating me as a toy. I saw the gleeful look on their faces when she blatantly cheated on me in front of everyone. I heard how she spoke. When she talked about her engagement, she sounded like she did when she was engaged to Riser, as if I was restricting her freedom. Looking at it now, she needs me more than I need her. She wasted a damn year of my life. The only thing good that she did was allow me to meet you guys, causing Citri to smile. You also helped me with my revenge. While she's never solved any of our problems, she's known Hajime-san not wanting to say Akano's name in case Issei had another outburst for years. Never had to accept her fallen angel side. The same with Toji-san. She was also considered to not be able to control Gasper-kun until you came along. If not for you, she would be married to Riser, and it's likely that Korto-san and Irina-san may have died when they came here, or I would have gone for their heads, Kiba-san said. Unfortunately, you lost to the blue-haired pervert, which is kind of weird coming out of your mouth. I mean, the first thing she did was try to have sex with me, and I'm a pervert. If I would have accepted her advances for sex, but they never cared about my feelings. Otherwise, they would have known why I didn't want to sleep with them. I also didn't even ask them to sleep naked with me. That's also Gremory's fault, Issei said. Damn, that dense night makes us blue-haired people look bad. Tsubasa said. This caused Issei to give a genuine laugh at her joke. It caused Dragon inside of him to smile as well. In the deep in his heart, the fragment of Rainier smiled as well. Well, it's a good thing you're holding down the front, Yuri-san and Kiba. If I had known that Irina was my childhood friend that I grew up, I would have killed you. If you hurt her, you can take out the blue-haired one, though. That's okay, Issei said. I'm pretty sure I can beat her now. She was right. My anger did blind me. I am more focused than I was then, so I could take her down. She's almost likely to exhaust herself with how she fights, Kiba said. I know. Gasper had to save her ass in the raiding game against Cyro-Org, and at least she was somewhat useful against him with you and Rosfaisa, and used her brain for a little. Rosfaisa sensei to power out of different Excaliburs to get some damage on him. Issei said, hold up real quick. You said you didn't know how Irina was your childhood friend when she came here. How come? Sanji said. Oh, that's right. As he got up from the chair to retrieve the photo album, flipping the pages, he found the picture of when he and Irina were kids. She used to dress as a guy when we were kids, and we went by her last name, Shioto, so it was a bit of a surprise. But I should have known, or at least suspected, how she looked that you were related. She has the most deep purple eyes, so I should have noticed the resemblance, he said. I see what you mean. She does look like a tomboy, Momo said. A magical flash, and his parents, along with Sekigiri and Olivian, came out. Kasan, Tosan, how was the house? Issei said. His parents looked surprised, which he thought was because of the travel from the magic circle, but it was actually because Issei forgot that it was two houses, which caused the Hyoto to smile as this worked in their favor. It was wonderful. How was your time with your friends? Mickey said. It was fine, showing them Irina and I were kids and how she looked like a guy. Issei said, oh, I see. That's wonderful. At least you were enjoying your time with your friends, Mickey said. Yeah, sure, Issei replied. Well, we got some time before those girls come back. You said 2 weeks, right? Girl replied. That's wonderful since we have a play. It makes things easier to send our things. When you're set to go, we can transport them directly to the house for you, Sikirza says. Wonderful. Guess this week won't be as hectic as we thought. Did anyone else show up while we were away? Mickey replied. Nah, it was just us. Oh, and before you guys go, Issei said, Kiba, Sanji, could you follow me real quick? Heading to his room upstairs. The two blonde males looked at each other and following their friend up to his room. Well, we shall be heading out. If you need us, you can call. You can Issei call. He has our numbers. As she gathered her group, girls, you can put the photo album away. Noticing the girls in her group still looking at the pictures while Go Up and Girl, her Rook stood off to the side like a bodyguard. Aw, but Sona-sama, look at little Issei, turning to her king. Only to see her stoic face showing out unfazed. Okay, backing up, Tomo said. She closed the album, which caused groans of displeasure for most of the girls. Someone can only gauge their reaction as they were getting up to ready to leave. Now in Issei's room, Kiba and Sanji arrived looking in his closet when they heard him call out. Here it is. As he walked out with 2 trash bags, hey guys, I need you to get rid of this stuff. What's it? It's my old porn. It's been stashed in the back of the big closet for a while. Ross Weiss will help me pack it up. Issei said, why don't you just leave it? I could, but then the girls might think I changed. Even though I have, I'll let them still think I'm a pervert. Since it won't be here, so they'll think I'll took it with me. Make them think they're right. Though it's funny because I've caught them reading the shit every now and again, so I'll let them look for it, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for now. Issei says, you want us to throw it away? Kiba replies, throw away, burn it, hell, even give it to Matsuda and Motohama. I don't really care. Just get rid of it. Hang it back, Issei said. Kiba and Sanji were a bit stunned, mostly due to the force that Issei put into thrusting the bags into the chest, and he handed them off. Well, I better say bye to the others. Oh, and Sanji. Hey, if I got to call you, Sanji says, Issei, show some respect and call me by my given name as well. Fine. Then, Genshiro, try to make sure your siblings don't see that stuff, Issei says. Much better. And you got it, taking the bag out of the room. I'll try to swing by with Gasper so he can see you off. Kiba says, not sure that is wise. I don't want him blabbering about the grimoires. Issei says, don't worry, I'll make sure you won't. You may be in for a surprise, smiling a bit mischievously as the room's look. Kiba, don't smile like that at me ever again. This is why people made yaoi mangas of us together with your girlfriend secretly likes to read, Issei said, shivering slightly from the memory. This caused Kiba to stop smiling and shiver as he remembered that manga was spread around the school. He promptly kissed Tsubaki in front of everyone to prove that he was not gay. So something good came out of the manga, spreading at least. Let's go down. I gotta get the packing, Issei said as he walked out of his room, following Genshiro downstairs and Kiba following behind him. When he got downstairs, he explained the bag and why the two bonds were taking it. It did cause a blush to appear on Tsubaki and Momoyora's and Ryu's faces, though. At least they'll get laid, Issei replied, smirking to himself, as he blushes on the friends' respective partners' faces. Anyway, thanks for coming. It was nice to see friendly faces, Issei said. It's no worries, Issei-san. Thank you for what you've done for the supernatural world, offering her hand in a friendly gesture. Sana did. Yo, Issei. Drake, remember this? My other self. I will get stronger. I look forward to your return, Vitra said. The result will be the same. We rise and you fall, Drake says. Ha! We'll see about that, Vitra replies, as the two dragons banter. Well, you guys enjoy your day. I gotta start packing, Issei said. And Sona, let me know of any renegades and Seek-chan. You think you can take in Ross Vifsa to your Parage? I'd rather it be with someone I can trust, and that she won't be disgruntled. Plus, I figured she could grow and not be treated as a tool. Issei finished. I suppose I can do that, Sekivara says, but I have no means of contacting her. I'll send you her number if she doesn't want to show within the week while I'm here. Issei says, very well, and Mr. Hyodo, I'll inform you my father of your decision. I'm sure he'll be happy with you on the board, Sekivara says. Thank you very much, Girl replied, nodding to the Harris. Thank you again for your assistance. I'm very grateful, Mickey says, as she bowed to the devils before to show her appreciation. Mrs. Hyodo, Sona says, you don't have to do that. It's the least we can do for a friend. Anyway, take care. She began to turn and leave with her Parage and Kiba. Yes, enjoy your day, Issei. Live freely. I'll talk with Ujuka about a trade. I believe he may be on your side. You do not look so pleased with Sir Sex at the party. Sukiberry says, yes, the Meow Beelzebub had a bit of an accusation at Sir Sex, smiling at his sister's action, not only him, but the Mao, Lucifer's wife. Olivia says, really? Issei replied. He was surprised that his sister figure may be on his side, but he didn't have too much cope. But it's still in hope, nonetheless. Yes, she glared at him as he raised the glass of the Grimory's kissing display. I do not think they slept in the same bed last night, Olivia says. Well, thanks for the information. So you guys take care. I'll see you around, Issei replied. Yes, take care, Issei. The Grimory says, another time. Red Dragon Emperor, Olivia finishes. What the two of us did not expect was for Issei to hug them both, causing their normal stoic faces to have a bit of shock, as they did not expect such an action from Issei. Thank you for being my friend, as he let go of them and smiled at them both. Maybe we can hang out sometime before I go, Issei says. Tempting. We shall see. Just focus on packing and I shall focus on your requests, Kibera says. Awesome. See you guys, Issei replied, as the Ergaris Harris and her queen left via magic circle. See, I told you had some good friends still with you, Mickey says, having watched the whole scene as Goro left to relax in the living room. I guess you're right, Kasan. And thanks for also cheering me up last night, Issei says. Mickey simply smiled at her son and walked away, most likely to begin her packing. You seem much better than you were 12 hours ago. Are you sure you want to leave? I understand leaving the house, but go all together. You still got people here, Drake says. Well, it feels much better now that I don't have chains to hold me, and if I stayed in Ko, you know damn well that bitch and her brother would try to control me again. It's better to get a fresh start, away from them. And what of those girls, Drake says. Honestly, I hope I can see them before I go. But I want them to get stronger in my absence, as much as I'd want to take them with me. I don't want the faction to get their ass about my whereabouts. I may make them cry, but it's the best for now, Issei says. Look how far you've grown. Unfortunately, you're still a hatchling in dragon terms, Drake says, mocking Issei's status. Shut up, locking the front door and heading to his room. He still couldn't believe how big it was. Before the bed felt full, now it felt empty. Don't think about them, Rainier says as her spectacle appeared. I wasn't. I didn't mean those three. I meant Gremory. You were envisioning how full this place was when all the girls were here. Don't think about them, Rainier says. Oh, Issei replied, heading to the closet to gather some clothes and place them on the bed. You know, I can't wait to start our training, Rainier says. Training, Issei replies. Yes, your aura could be detected. How do you think I got into this damn place without alerting the Gremory? So we got to work on your stealth, Rainier says. Oh, joy, Issei says. Her tone was monotone. His tone was monotone, as he got some sukis as well. It'll help you in the long run. Besides, I want to help you prove them wrong. Don't worry, I won't annoy you all the time. Sooner or later, I'll be gone. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want the best for you, Rainier says. How touching. Still focused on his packing, Issei did. Fine. Clearly I can see you don't want to talk to me. But when you do, you know where I'll be, as she disappeared. Rainier was gone. Something tells me that I will need you, but not now, Rainier, Issei said, and that's the end of Chapter 3. Chapter 4. The flashback continues. So he's in a flashback again, just FYI. The rest of the day for Issei was rather lackluster, since he figured that he had a whole week to pack. He didn't pack as much. He thought of exploring not the city, but the forest trees, so he went for a hike, building up his stamina, doing some training. Since Son did not notify them of any renegade demons, he decided to hunt for them. Being a dragon, he felt the need to hunt, but for today, nothing came of his interest, so he went back home to rest. He was woken up the next day to some noise in one of the girls' room. It was still dark outside, so he believed that his parents were still sleeping. From what he was hearing, they seemed to be in a rush, so he followed the noise. He could not pick up on the scent, so he figured that he teleported into the room directly. He was also noticed that it was coming from the rooms further than his, which made him smile. Little at those rooms belonged to either Rosvisa, Ravel, Irina as they moved, and later the rest of the girls when the house was remodeled. Finding that the room was the second farthest, he felt a little relief and decided to softly knock. Hello? Anyone there? Issei says. He waited a few seconds before he heard the response back. Issei-kun? He heard footsteps coming to the door, but they didn't open the door. Yeah, it's me, Issei said as the door opened to reveal Rosvisa. She seemed shocked as a bit as she looked at his new appearance. It's been a couple of... He could have finished as she hugged him and held on to him. He let out a sigh and reciprocated the hug, rubbing her back, and her began to sniffle. Missed you too, Issei said. They remained like that for a few minutes. Rosvisa stopped sniffling before she didn't pull away. But she didn't pull away. I didn't think you'd be here, Rosvisa said, as her head remained on his shoulder. Yeah, but I have little time, Issei says. She pulled her head away, but still held her arms around him as he did with her. What do you mean? Rosvisa says. Well, my family, I'll be leaving at the end of this week. They won't be back for at least 2 weeks. So we got time. What are you doing? Issei said. I was packing to leave. From the way you're talking, it sounds like you heard what the girl said, Rosvisa said. Yeah, every word. And thank you for sticking up for me. I'm glad that I ran into you and not one of them. Smiling a little, could see it due to him being a demon. He said, You're welcome. It's the least I could do for one of my students, Rosvisa said. Well, not anymore. Issei replied. What do you mean? So said, well, if you stay for the day, I can explain it to you later. But as he proceeded to yawn, it's like 4 a.m, so get some rest, okay? As he began to let her go. Wait, Rosvisa said, pulling him closer. Then could you stay with me then? Do it, Rainier says, hearing her voice in his head. Go ahead, partner. Give her some closure for the both of you. As the dragon went back to sleep. Okay, Issei said, as he softly primed his arms against so he could walk into the room. Let me change, Rosvisa said, rushing onto the bathroom that was attached to her room. Issei guided himself to the bed and sat down. He never actually laid in Rosvisa's bed, and now that he thought about it, he never actually been in any of the girls' rooms because they were usually in his room to sleep. He noticed that Rosvisa's mattress was slightly softer than his. He didn't prefer a firmer mattress, but for some girls they didn't like it. And on Rias's instance, settled for medium firm mattress. He got to feel the bathroom, the door opened. Rosvisa was wearing a sudden bathrobe, and her high, mid, and light of the bathroom. He could see the dark blue bra, and she figured she wore underwear underneath. Sorry, I guess I packed my sleepwear. I didn't think that I'd be staying. She had a blush on her face. I only realized when I changed out of my suit, Rosvisa said. It's alright. If you like, I could wait outside and wait for you to finish. No, it's summer anyway, so this is fine. As she walked to the outside of the bed and sat down, I hope you don't mind. If it's alright with you, Rosvisa, then it's fine by me, as he laid down on the side of his bed. He didn't expect Rosvisa to dive towards him and hug him again, and the dive slightly loosening her robe. I'm so sorry, snuggling into his shoulder. You don't need to apologize. You didn't do anything wrong, moving his arms to rub her shoulder, hoping that it would soothe her. I'm not talking about the girls. I mean my faction. Well, former faction, since I'm reincarnated as a devil, Rosvisa says. What do you mean? Issei replied. Well, I went to inform Odin about what the girls were plotting, and he said it was their decision, and I should look for a man, as well as calling you a boy, gritting her teeth, remembering the conversation. I could not believe that he was giving honor to infidelity, practically supporting it. I told him that he sent a boy to war and couldn't stand to be there, so I left to see my grandmother. Sorry I didn't come to see you. I was too angry to think. Issei remained silent as he listened to Rosvisa, and he said he noticed how she didn't use the sama suffix as before, but now he was called a boy, even after the war. What a hypocrite. It is likely that he was referring to your perverted attitude, but that bastard is worse than you. You don't flip skirts just to see a pair of underwear. Hell, he's fucking molester compared to you. If you're a boy, then he is one as well. I hope the other gods don't see you that way, especially of the Nordic faction, Drake says. Thanks, Drake. I won't let the opinion of one fool outweigh the opinion of others, Issei said. What about the fallen angels? You said you wouldn't help them at all, Rainier says. I guess you're right. I sound hypocritical. You know that. You know what? I'll apply that to all factions. After all, some demons are helping me and my family get out of there, Issei says. You agree with me, how sweet, Rainier says. Shut up and get out of my head. Issei replied, very well, I'll listen this time, leaving him alone and fading from his mind. Issei-kun? Rosvisa said, snapping him out of his thoughts. Sorry, Ross. I was thinking about what you said, and it does piss me off a little what he said, considering that I fought alongside him against the Trihexa, but I will say that you should find someone that will make you happy, whether it's a boy, or a man, or whatever. Can you promise me that? Issei says, if you insist, hugging him a little closer. Good. And how about this? Let's not focus on what he said. Let's get some sleep and enjoy the day. I won't stop you from leaving, and I'm glad that you came back here to get some things I would like to talk to you about. So let's enjoy the day we have together, Issei said. Very well, Asuka said, closing her eyes and shifting her head to his chest, slowly falling asleep, listening to his breathing. That's a mature approach that you were taking with the factions they call you a boy, Drake says. Ha! Yeah, thanks. But if they do something to someone that I care about, they will pay, Issei says, subconsciously gripping Rosvisa a little tighter. I expected as much, though I am interested in what we can do with this new boosted gear, and maybe develop some skills, Drake said. Yeah, I almost forgot. I'm going to need to replace all those breast-related techniques. Maybe do something a little different with bilingual, as it can be useful, allowing me to determine my enemy's moves. Well, at least women need to do something about the male side. What about the heart? It's hard to lie about what their heart is feeling, Drake says. Good idea. Maybe I'll try to test it out on Genshiro before I leave. I'll need a little mock discreet on making the dimensional space that allow me to speak to a woman's breast as well, so opponents aren't aware of what's going on. Good idea. Let's rest. We can discuss more about this when you depart, Drake says. Night, Drake. Letting sleep take him over again. Having woken up earlier, Rosvisa shoveling. The two slept until 11 a.m. What did Issei not know was that due to the late morning, his mother went to check on him and did not find him in his room. Issei woke up. His arm was still around Rosvisa, but he also noticed that her robe showed a little more than it did last night. It allowed him to see a little more of her body, but considering that he'd seen naked, when he used stress break on her when they visited Kyoto, he was still impressed as it was more toned than it was then. He could see a faint outline of her abs, whereas before it was just flat stomach. He stopped staring as he felt Rosvisa move, beginning to wake up. Rosvisa woke up as she felt breeze on her stomach. Looking down, she could see that her robe was loose and open. She jolted up and looked at Issei to see if he was awake, which he was. Sorry, Rosvisa said, getting out of her bed to cover her robe. It's fine, it happens. He noticed that Rosvisa just didn't bolt to the bathroom and didn't seem as nervous earlier. Well, good morning. Morning. We better get ready. I think we slept nearly all morning, but I needed to rest. I haven't slept since the party. You haven't slept for more than a day, Issei says? No, I was too upset about everything, so I left for Asgard after my party. My grandmother calmed me down, as I had gone to the spot I used to train when I was preparing to be a Valkyrie. Oh, understanding her situation, she must have gone berserk, Issei said. Issei, I need to change. Could you, oh, right, getting up from the bed, heading to his room to get ready. The two get ready, as Issei now wore a red polo shirt that covered to his new muscles and light blue jeans. He headed downstairs, where his parents seemed to prepare to head out. Issei, good morning. Where were you? I went to your room and you weren't in the bathroom either. He didn't know what to say until Rosvisa had come downstairs. Good morning, girl-san. Miki-san. She was wearing a sleeveless blouse, a black skirt, and went down to mid-thigh, and some black socks. Oh, Rosvisa, you're here. What a wonderful surprise. It shocked Rosvisa a little, as she wasn't sure how she would be received. How are you, dear? Miki said. I'm doing much better. Thank you for asking. Are you going somewhere? Noticed they were about to leave. Yeah, figured we enjoy the week with Issei's friends helping out. It makes it easier for us to enjoy ourselves, Goro says. Oh, Issei come informed me that you were leaving. I actually came to collect my own things as well, Rosvisa says. You're leaving too? Aren't you a part of her barrage? Miki said. She understood the evil pieces they were explained to her along with other things of the supernatural world after things calmed down when they had been kidnapped. Unfortunately, so. Hopefully, I can get traded to another barrage. But I fear she won't allow me to leave because of her selfish dream, Rosvisa says. I was actually going to talk to you about that, since you guys are leaving. We head out to lunch then, if that's alright with you, Rosvisa says. That's fine with me, Rosvisa replied. Then we'll leave you to it. Have a good day. As she and Goro walked out the door, but being supernatural beings, Issei and Rosvisa could hear her mention something about possible grandchildren, which caused them to blush a little. When they were sure his parents had fully left, had put on two shoes now at the door, of course, making sure that it was locked for added security, Rosvisa placed a defensive seal, and which would alert them if someone tried to break in. Whoa, that will come in handy. That's awesome. Impressed by Rosvisa's knowledge of seals and magic, she simply smiled at his praise and left for the mall to check the sushi restaurant that was near there. They got their seats and they were looking to order. Luckily, not many people were here, despite it being summer break, so there was no school, but still a weekday and people had to work. The two settled in and looked throughout without a rush, although Rosvisa still needed to pack. So how have you been? Issei said. I think I should be asking you that, Issei replied. Well, I'm not happy about what happened, but if that's what they want, then fine, as long as they don't bother asking me for help. Issei says, well, you were still her pawn and I am still her rook. About that, Issei says, being interrupted by a waiter. Hello, are you ready to place your order? Issei and Rosa Bleacher packed their orders, knowing what they wanted, plus Issei told Rosvisa not to worry, as he wanted to treat her right. So she didn't have to be cheap, knowing her love for 100 yen things. Once they placed their orders, the waiter collected their menu as the waiter discreetly gave a wink to Issei. So what I was saying, I don't have the pawn pieces anymore. As you can see from the new look, I was gifted a new body, a little more advanced than my old one was decomposed. As they can't do experiments with you, you know how Azazel is. Issei says, I see. They won't be able to track you down when you leave, Rosfesa replies. And as for being her rook, how would you like to switch out at barrages? Issei said, switch out, Rosfesa replied. Yes, I may not have pieces, and if I did, I would like to take you with me. But that is not the case. However, Sukiver had been helping my family. Think of how much stronger you could be. I mean, she won the raiding games with such few pieces. She and Sona knew how to strategize, but Sona is full. With the exception of 3 pawn pieces, I think your more power is more than that. Which earned a smile from him. The Valkyrie is someone who appreciated her skills in combat. So you think I should join Sikifera? What if she betrays you and under relocation to the factions, Ressa says, because she was the one that helped me out. When the others thought I was ignoring them. When it was the other way around. Whenever they did, whether it was out of spite or not, it's on them, not me. Their problems are no longer my concern. Her dream is not mine. Right, Rasisa said. She won't be able to be a harem queen, rolling her eyes jokingly. Well, no. It was my dream, but it changed over time. I wanted a world where no wars, so that my friends and family can live in peace. In that place. I can be with my loved ones and raise a family, just enjoying little things in life. Honestly, I wouldn't achieve that harem king dream if I didn't obtain peace anyways. But that is my real dream. The harem king is just a cover. Wow, does anyone else know about this? Rosisa says. Shiva-sama does, acknowledging my deep desire for peace, and it only was intensified because I am the child of Great Red and Orphis. But going back to what I said, contact Sikivera, but maybe we could stay in touch or something, but not directly. You know how Gremory is, Issei says. Yes, unfortunately, and I understand, Rosfisa replied. The waiter had come back with the food. Here you are, setting the plates down their respective owners. Rosfisa ordered sushi, and Issei also got sushi as well. Taking their time to enjoy the food, Issei and Rosfisa just talked about anything as long as it didn't relate to their former employees, just spending time with each other. Okay, I will talk with Sikiveri when I return back to my grandmother. She also did not agree with Odin's words about you. Well, send my regards to your grandmother for believing in me. As well as finished their food, and Issei paid the bill. They decided to take a walk around before heading back to the mansion to assist with packing their stuff. They reached the park. For Issei, it was a nostalgic moment. Don't think of it too much. You got a real one in the Valkyrie next to you, so stop thinking about the past for once and get on with your future, Rainier said. It surprised Issei in how different this Rainier was acting, but decided to heed her words and not remember what happened before. Hey Issei, Rosfasa replied. What is it? Turning to her. I'm sure you remembered how you told me to find someone that would make me happy. What if I told you that I did? Rosfisa says that I am happy for you. Man, I almost feel bad I would have taken you away from them. When I said I would join you in my barrage if I had pieces, Issei said, I wish you did, because that person is you, Issei-kun. You see, I never said anything for a while. I didn't feel anything at first, but after you told me you would protect me when we faced the Lucid, something just changed. I always wanted someone to have a bright future, and your conviction to protect your allies showed me that you would have one. I was going to speak with Rias about joining your harem, but look what has happened. I was very disappointed in them, Rosfisa says. Thank you, Roshan. Rose. Call me Rose. No one ever calls me that but my grandmother, and I would like you to call me that, please. Okay, Rose, thank you for confessing to me, turn and continue. And Issei, Rosfisa says, yeah? Turning back to feel some pressure on his lips. He saw that Rosfisa was kissing him. The initial shock wore off, and he leaned into the kiss, closing his eyes and enjoying it. Before it could get any further, Rosfisa pulled away. I do hope that you hold me in your heart, but you need a new start, so please do your best to be happy, okay? Rosfisa says. But what about you? Issei replied. Rosfisa simply wrapped her arms around him, bringing it to her cleavage and resting her head on his shoulder. I'll be fine. Let's just enjoy the moment. Sighing contently, in her presence continued their walk. She has gotten a confidence booster, it seems, Drake says. Yeah, looks that way, Issei replied. At least she wants you to be happy. Maybe one day you will return for her, Drake says. Maybe, but if she found someone else, then I won't be mad because I'm the one that left her. Look at you, growing up, Drake says, mocking his partner, but still impressed with his maturity of the situation. Shut up, Issei replied, as he enjoyed the moment with Rosfisa, until they decided to head back so he can finish packing up the rest of their things. The two got back, and Issei began to help gather clothes and pack them for Rosfisa. As she gathered her necessities, she could see how Issei was touching her not touching any of her undergarments, so she packed those up. They were nearing completion when Rosvisa called for his attention. Issei-kun, do you have a minute? She was packing her magic equipment that consisted of her spellbooks. Yes, what is it? I want you to have this. Handing over a spellbook, it looked plain. What kind of spellbook is it? Since it was her other spellbooks, he assumed it was one as well. That's a copy of my life's work, from all the spells that I have gathered in seals. I want you to have it. Maybe improve your artillery a little bit. Not sure if you noticed, but your magic reserves are much better. Those are spells from Asgard and other factions, and also Dragon Slayer techniques that I wrote down. Though I've never had to go fully using them, but maybe they can help you, since you use Ascalon's dragon slaying aura. Issei promptly hugged her, and it was his teacher's instinct that it was helping him and just wanting to see him grow. Thank you so much, Issei said. It was no problem, we're almost done. As she went to finish packing the rest of her things, Issei just watched her and kept looking between her and the book. So this is what it means to say goodbye to the ones you love, snapping out of his thoughts. Hey Rose, could you stay? Stay? Rosvisa says. For another night. He didn't know how to finish his thought. Rose turned back to him. He couldn't see her face, so he didn't see the smile that was on her face. I understand. It's okay because you want me to. I'll stay another night. Rosvisa says, oh, cool. Issei said he was dumbstruck. Inside of his mind and heart, Rainier and Drake could only facepalm. He won't get late at this rate, Rainier says. Once they finished packing, Rosvisa prepared to transport her things back to her grandmother's house as Issei wanted to speak with his parents on the phone, who said they would be back late at night. Issei believed that it was date night for them, but actually they wanted to give him more time alone with Rosvisa. Issei decided to order out, feeling lazy to cook, and was preparing to look for a movie for them to watch. Okay, so my parents are going to be late tonight, but I ordered us some takeout and got a movie to watch. That's fine. Earnestly, she was excited as it was another night for the cuddle up with Issei. As she transported her things back to her bedroom at the grandmother's house, she did leave a pair of clothes for tomorrow. The two simply enjoyed their evening, once takeout was delivered, and watched the movie. What do you plan to do after this? Issei says. Well, I think I will talk with Sekigahara-san, as you mentioned, though I'm not sure how she would react. You're not her toy, neither of us are. I think Sekigahara would find a way to help you, too. You don't want to be there with Grimmery, and she being Rias, will have to accept it because they're not supposed they're servants like family, so she'll have to accept your departure or ruin her family's name. Didn't she already do that with you? Rosvisa says. I guess you're right, Issei replied as they continued to watch the movie, his arm around her, just taking it in as he was with this woman for now. As the movie ended, the two decided to head to the bed, of course sharing a bed together. Rosvisa wore the same thing as last night, but left the bathrobe open. Her confidence was a lot higher after she had to talk with her grandmother. She had to act upon her wishes. Needless to say, Issei got a good feeling of her body as he held her. From all the kisses they shared and the groping, it urges in. He didn't want farewell sex as he didn't feel this was the moment, but he was going to enjoy her for the night, so he did. The next morning, the pair woke up. Both had her hair was dissolved. Issei did not have his shirt, and one of the straps of Rosvisa's bra was down, and her breast was showing. She also had hickeys on her neck and breast. So last night was something, Issei said, his arm around her waist and her on her chest. Yes, but I enjoyed that day we spent together. We should get ready. After all, you still need to pack yourself. As she got up and grabbed her bag of clothes to change in the bathroom. Issei also got up from the bed as he went into his room as well. For a sample t-shirt and black jeans, he came downstairs and found his parents. He found suspicious how they could wake up early. He also wasn't sure how they came in. Good morning. When did you guys get back? Issei said. Good morning. Issei, we had date night. Went out for dinner, enjoyed ourselves. How was your night? Miki says. It was relaxing. Issei replied, that's nice. Sorry if we used some of the money. We wanted to enjoy ourselves. It's fine. The money from the show is quite vast. You could have enjoyed yourselves all week. It might not even put a dent in the money. As he sat at the table, did Rosvisa leave already? She was changing last I checked. Good morning. Entering the room, wearing a colored blouse and a white aqua-plated skirt, Rosvisa was. Issei was still enamored by her beauty, but the night that she shared, was she secretly grateful for her bra and hair hiding the hickeys. He wanted to see her happy before they let her other go. Oh, good morning, Rosvisa. Are you going to be joining us? No, I actually wanted to say goodbye to all of you, inviting you to your home. But I'll be leaving today, Rosvisa says. It's not a problem. You helped look after our boys, so thank you. We understand why you want to leave. It is the same as us, I presume. Yes, it's just not the same anymore. But aren't you still part of Rias's barrage? We actually may have found a way out of that, Issei says. We talked about it over lunch yesterday, and I had my things over in my bedroom in my grandmother's house in Asgard. So when I went to settle in, I will contact Sekigahara for a possible trade. That's nice. She's helping us out too. Her And Sona, Garo says, both are smart women compared to Rias. You can say that again, Miki said. Just then the magic circle appeared. Unlike Sikivera and Sona's circles, this one was orange. Riser Phoenix was with his sister and Paraj appeared in the room. Huh? Didn't think anyone would be here, Riser said, seeing the occupants in the room. Riser, what are you doing here? Issei says, standing up from his seat, standing next to Rosvaisa. Issei-sama, Revel said, getting a look at his appearance. What happened to you? She had a blush on her face. Long story short, I got a body from the dragon gods and got my pieces removed, so I'm free, and you didn't answer my question, Issei said. They're here to help me pack, Ravel said. Hello, Ravel-chan, Rosvaisa said. Rosvaisa-sensei, you're here too, Ravel replied. Actually, I was just about to leave. I already packed my things and sent them out. It seemed that we're all leaving this place, Rosvaisa said. We thought you would have been gone sooner, Riser replied. We would have, but Sona came by and informed us that they would be in the underworld for another 2 weeks or so we decided to take it easy and leave the rest of the weekend. Oh, Rosvaisa-sensei, I'm sorry I didn't speak up that night, Ravel said. It's fine. I know you were not against me, hugging the girl and whispering in her ear, thank you for helping him. Rosvaisa says, you're welcome, Ravel replied to Rebecca. She pulled back to asked the Valkyrie, so when will we see you again? Well, I'd like to see Issei and his family off after that. I don't know. Wouldn't you still be here because you're in a barrage? I'd suggest joining my own, but spots are filled up. Exception being the bishop piece that Ravel here once occupied. No, thank you. I would be speaking to Sikivera's son after I get settled back in my grandmother's place, Rosvaisa said to Riser. Sikveria-sama? Ravel said. That's a good choice. How do you know her anyways? Through me, Issei says. You're still friends with Sikivera, huh? Now that I think about it, it's not many people know of your friendship with her, do they? Riser said. No, I'd like to keep it that way, Issei replied. That's smart of you. If they come looking for you, they question the Sea Trade and Phoenix clans first. Maybe the BL too, Riser replied. Not likely to BL. They're too close to the Gremory clan, Issei said. I see. Well, Ravel, show us to your room so we can pack your things. We'll give you 2 a moment, Riser said. Kasan, here's Sona's number so we can help you guys pack, seeing over the contract information. Okay, thank you, dear, Miki said. Well, I guess I'll see you later, Ravel said, Rosvaisa-sensei, giving her another hug. I guess so, Rosvaisa said, reciprocating the hug, watching the young Phoenix walk away with her brother and his barrage. So this is it, huh? Issei said. Well, you will have to contact me before you go, which you never said where you were heading. That's right. I don't want the factions to get on your ass about it, but I did tell Sona. But we're heading to Tokyo. Sikiveria's dad helped my dad get a job over there, Issei said. I see. You're still protecting us, even though we were away. Just try to keep in touch if you can. I understand that someone like Azazel may try to look into our phones for your location. I figured. But I'll find a way, so I guess I'll see you at the end of the week, Issei says. You will. Cupping his face and pulling him for another kiss as he wrapped his arms around her waist. This is goodbye for now. Yeah. For now, Issei says. Don't forget. Try and make yourself happy, okay? I'll be fine, and you know I will be too. Rosvaisa says. Yeah, Issei replied. Maybe you still don't get it, Issei. I understand your wall is around your heart, but you still will go to Tokyo. Get yourself a fresh start. You'll meet someone new. Maybe she's a part of your supernatural world or not. I am glad I was able to confess to you. It lifted a burden off my heart, but don't worry about me and lift your own burden. Besides, if all goes well and I'm a part of Sikivera's barrage, it'll be easier, since I won't have the Gremory down my throat. It made them both laugh. I know. You changed so quickly. I wish I had this confidence of yours, Issei said. I talked with my grandmother. It's what helped me turn a new leaf to confess to you. I wasn't going to be shy about it, but now that I've had my turn, I think I should talk with Ravel during this time, Rosvaisa says. Yeah, you think Irina will show up? I know she defended me as well, Issei said. I don't know. I didn't stay after speaking with Odin. Maybe you can ask Ravel about it. She was probably there longer than me. But if Irina doesn't show up, at least let her know that you're gone. You're right. My mom did say to talk to my friends. Issei said, see you in a few days, giving him a chest kiss and creating a magic circle with a goodbye. She disappeared. A few days, Issei said, waving as well. She is right, you know, Miki said, making her presence felt. I know, and so were you, Kasan, so if you will excuse me, Issei said. As he began to head to Ravel's room, when he was out of earshot, Miki pulled out her phone, which seemed to be connected to a call. Did you get that? Miki said. Yes, I'll make sure she comes and lets Toji know, the mystery person says. Thanks, Mizuki, ending the call before contacting Sona. These girls deserve one last opportunity to see him off, as she walked away. And that is the end of chapter 4. And that's where I'm going to be stopping for now. I'm going to kill myself. Hopefully YouTube doesn't demonetize me for saying that. It was just a joke. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. I'm tired. Just so you guys know, like, I have a job and I'm doing this at the same time. So obviously videos aren't pumped out as fast as I would like them to be. But man, is it a grind. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I really do appreciate all the support, everyone coming back to the channel members and things like that. I'm posting actual different content on Patreon now. Like, I released What If Issei Was Alone on Patreon. Once again, if you guys want to become a channel member and know when I upload in my upload schedule, click the little blue button, the first link in the premiere, the first link in the description, the first link in the comment section. It is all over the place. If you want to join my channel membership, it's always being promoted. It's always great to have you guys with me, and all the people who stuck with me the whole entire time. I really can't thank you enough. As well as my Patreon members, of course. Thank you so much for the support, ladies and gentlemen. It's some hard times for your boy right now, so I'm struggling. So without any further ado, let's try to hit 400 to 500 likes. That'd be absolutely amazing. Without any further ado, Spartanic Arts, DXD, out.